Hey guys, I hope you're having a good day. I do have a book review for you today, even though it's not normally the way I do book reviews. I was having some lighting issues and then I had some microphone issues, so I'm re recording this, or re recording the audio at least. So, I just wanted to remind you guys that I have the video posted of the giveaway winner, and I also have a new giveaway going, so make sure to check that out so you can see if you're the winner and what the next giveaway is. The book that I want to review today is called While Beauty Slept, and it's by Elizabeth Blackwell. And one thing that I wanted to point out is that you can usually see that I check my books out from the library. That's not to say that I don't purchase the books or that I wouldn't recommend purchasing them. It's just that I happen to check out a lot of books at my library, and I do purchase books for my iPad. I have a few different apps on there that I purchase books through, but for the most part, if I can get it for free, of course, I will try to find it at my library. But it doesn't mean that I don't recommend it wholeheartedly. I'm just not asking you guys to pay for anything. So, anyway, I just wanted to clear that up in case you guys had any questions or whatever. I just really recommend books that I read and that I truly like. Or maybe sometimes I'll do a review about a book that I don't like. Who knows? But anyway, back to the book. This is called While Beauty Slept, like I said, and it is a retelling of the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale, which is honestly one of my favorite fairy tales. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. I just think the Sleeping Beauty story is so magical and I don't even know, enchanted might be the right word. So this book is told from the point of view of Rose's, the princess's maid. She actually starts out as the queen's maid, and it goes into a lot of detail about the maid's life. So obviously, not only is it a fairy tale, but it's a fictional book with a fictional character, and that's whose life that it surrounds. And you learn about how she grew up, you learn about who she loves, about what she thinks of the kingdom and the royal family, and how she gets to where she is, being the maid to the queen and whenever the princess is born. So I found Elise's story to be very rich, to be very realistic, and even though it's set in a different time period, obviously a historical time period, and you don't know where or when it takes place, you really get a feel for the kingdom. I really felt like you could have just dropped me into a place and I could have told you, yes, this is definitely it. The book is just written truly well. You get the feel for that history without being bogged down in details or dates. And like I said, the story of the maid is really good. You learn about her whole life and how it influences other aspects and parts of the book. Because you can tell it, because it's told from her point of view, you hear about the queen, you hear about the other chambermaids, you hear about the evil witch type person in the book, and it's a really interesting perspective. I really liked the queen in the book. I liked the princess, and it felt enchanted, even though there really was no magic in the book at all, which is always kind of strange in a fairy tale, but it felt like an almost completely set in real life book. And one thing that I thought was strange about the title is I honestly expected to go into the book and have it be, beauty sleeping right from the first page. But it wasn't really like that. You really get to hear a lot more details. And I worried that the book was going to be too long and too dry. But it really wasn't. It did drag just a hair in the middle, which, a lot of books are guilty of. But for the most part, this book was really good. The imagery wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. I felt like it was told in simple details. It wasn't sweeping me off my feet with the the romance of the language of the book. But anyway, back to the title. I just thought it was strange. The title really doesn't come into play until the very end of the book. The book also has a little bit of a twist ending that I never saw coming, and I really liked that. So overall, I would give this book probably like 4 out of 5 stars. And another book that I read recently, kind of a 2-for-1 here, that I am not going to do a book review on because it got a little bit dry in the middle, but is called Under the Wide and Starry Sky by Nancy Horan. She is the author of Loving Frank, and that book is on my favorite book shelf. And so the second book that she wrote is still pretty good. It just wasn't as good as Loving Frank, but I would definitely recommend it. It's about the wife of Robert Louis Stevenson. So the other thing I wanted to remind you guys is that the Noble Pages Book Club is going to be hosted April 12th on my blog, on YouTube, on Instagram, and over on Paige Evans' blog. So make sure and check that out April 12th. Thanks so much for watching, guys.